Sam and Daniel here. Okay, so I will have 6 questions for you guys. Okay, so you're both English, right? How did you first come into contact with Weixin and eventually decide to build a business around it? And was there a moment that you saw, oh, that might actually work?
I think it was around 2015. I was interested in China and I got an opportunity to come to China. And I then learned that WhatsApp and all of the Western platforms didn't work in China. So everyone was like, you've got to download WeChat to talk, to pay. So I downloaded WeChat. So from a personal perspective, that was my first engagement. And then I saw a huge interesting opportunity to perhaps help other people, brands in the UK, utilize Weixin, WeChat in an efficient way. So that was it. It was a personal story for me. How about you, Dan?
I downloaded WeChat in 2012.
Wow.
So really early, and used to use it for language learning and communicating with friends. Then I got into posting on WeChat Moments and realized that it's actually more effective probably than the Facebook wall or any wall out there on any social media. Then I started just posting my own content 5-6 years ago and just putting my face out there on WeChat video, Weixin Shipinghao, and then it just kind of blew up from there. And then brand deals started to come in and companies ask, oh, you understand WeChat and you know how it works, so can you help us? So documenting my life really is how it started with WeChat, and it's essentially my diary as well. Instead of writing a diary every day, I'm documenting my life, and it's a good record as well. So WeChat it started off as piecemeal, a little bit posting, and now it's grown into a business where the more I've used it, the more I've understood it and built.
That's where I found you.
Yeah,
I saw one of your videos and I was like, who is this guy? He's cool, based in China, giving a lot of education. So it's amazing how you can reach different people through that platform.
Yeah. So okay. So here's the second questions. So here's 2. In Chinese, it's called 老外. It's a foreigner. So 2 foreigners doing a business with Weixin. In the UK, and you already sounds. And Daniel, you are doing the in Shanghai. Yeah. So it already sounds like a strong contrast. So did people around you ever question the choice? Why are you starting a Chinese app? Is any questions?
Yeah. That's a really good question. I think people ask me why am I personally interested in the Chinese market quite a lot. Yes. When I'm talking to brands at the end of the pitch there, before we say anything else, why are you interested in China? It's always just fascinated me. I think the culture, the digital infrastructure, the scale. So, I was very interested in WeChat. So, but a lot of what we have to do in the UK is education. A lot of people might want to reach Chinese consumers, for us a lot of Chinese students, and they don't really know about the digital landscape. They only can see it through the lens of their own digital landscape, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, the TikToks. So a lot of what we see and what we do, there's a lot of education with it.
How about you, Daniel?
There's 2 reasons really. Opportunities, so the business opportunities, also being able to connect with people, but it's actually a fun platform. I really enjoy using the platform and seeing its capability, and I think it's got a lot more capability than WhatsApp or those other apps out there. It's an all-in-one ecosystem, so there is so much scope for you to grow from 0 to 1, whether you're an individual content creator or you're a business and it's still quite new in a sense, right? There's still lots of businesses that don't know about WeChat out there, so there's still so much opportunity for growth on there, whereas probably some of the other Western platforms are a bit too saturated now. So WeChat, there's still always opportunities for you to start from scratch and grow.
Yes.
It is an ecosystem, isn't it? And I think that's when we talk to brands, we talk a lot about it being an ecosystem. You can reach people through video content like you do, or through official account articles, and then what we specialize in with the mini programs. And the fact it's all in one place, people usually are like, wow, this is crazy. So I find it personally as a user like really, really interesting platform. I use it more than all my other platforms now, even though I live in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this all-in-one function is very useful in our platform. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you can tell people you can pay as well, that just blows people's mind.
You can pay, can
You
chat,
can chat.
use the service in the mini programs,
Yeah.
and creator can use the channels, use the official account, right?
And on that point, actually, the WeChat Pay, it's really interesting when I travel around the world. So
Yes.
I've just been to Australia, I was in the UK and Europe a few months ago. You're seeing these QR codes, WeChat Pay QR codes sprouting up in shops and malls. So it's clearly embedded now and is an alternative, right? It's a payment solution and it's almost a must-have now, particularly with some industries in the West, that you've got to have a WeChat code. If you're a tourism or you're a shop or you're selling anything, you need to be able to accommodate to Chinese audiences.
Yeah, and the cross-border is also helped cross-border business, and Chinese users can go to abroad, like to Hong Kong, Macau, and to the UK can use the QR code to pay.
It is such an important point that you raised there, because when we started the business, we was working with a lot of restaurants, and they would always say to me, like, Sam, how do we encourage more Chinese footfall into the restaurants? And I would be like, have you got translated menus? No. Okay, let's do that. Can you accept WeChat Pay? No. They can just pay by card, right? No, they can't. You need to make it easy for them. So, as you're sort of saying, it's definitely grown and developed. I think there's so much more opportunity. You touched on opportunity. There's so much more opportunity ahead for Western brands to adopt more of the WeChat ecosystem products.
Yeah. Okay. So Sam, you are starting the mini program in the UK, and Daniel start your business building official account, building channels in Shanghai. So you are serve international brand. You are serve Chinese people, right? Okay. So what's the biggest cultural difference or operational challenge you have ever met?
I think us on the technology layer is sometimes a challenge, because Western, UK, US, Australia businesses, a lot of them use Western platforms for their CRM system, for their, in our world, property management systems, student management systems. And I think one of the biggest challenges for us is trying to integrate the WeChat infrastructure that we've created for the mini program into the solutions. And we've been successful with platforms like Salesforce and HubSpot, but some of the other platforms are quite hard because it sounds crazy, they don't have APIs to connect with. So I definitely think for us, it's really been the technology layer, but WeChat itself has so many great functions for us as a developer. It's just trying to convince the Western platforms to allow us to integrate is probably our biggest hurdle or challenge at times.
I would say on the Western side, it's the education behind the platform. They don't understand, well, firstly, what is WeChat is the big question, I guess. And how is this going to benefit my business? So from my side, if you're looking at China, you want a piece of China, you want to integrate into the culture and also do business here, you've got to be on WeChat, right? Not just the personal messaging side, you've got to have WeChat mini programs, you've got to have WeChat official account, you've got to do video content, you've got to embed yourself in the whole ecosystem. And that is a big sticking point for us, is companies have pain in China and the solution is WeChat, but they can't put the two together. So I guess that's our job, to kind of bridge that gap and to show if you're not using this system and really developing not just one aspect of it, but doing WeChat mini programs or official account, WeChat stores, if you're a B2C brand, then you're kind of dead in the water with China. You have to be on WeChat. This is the biggest issue we have with Western companies. So they want a piece of China, but they don't want to do the whole ecosystem. And it's a bit like a Western company wanting to do business in the West, not having a website, not having the usual social medias that they have. So education, I think, is the biggest issue that we find with companies, is they want China, but they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, so we need you post them more, let Western people know Okay,
I
so
think there's one more. I mean, I don't know if you see this, but I think sometimes expectation as well. I think Western brands get very excited about the Chinese market, but they haven't really thought through a longer term strategy. It's like quick execution. Can we see results fast to justify investments? And I think what you see as well, brands need to take a longer term view on the Chinese market. It takes time to build an audience, particularly one that you want to transact with. So a big part of when we talk with brands, and over time the brands that have been successful really on day one took a long-term strategic view on the market and wanted to make it a real success rather than looking for quick wins.
Yeah. We've been doing this for 10 years as well. Right? Companies need to understand this. You can't break China in 3 months. Right? It takes diligence, it takes real understanding of the market, proper strategy, and building out step by step. And that big question of ROI, we want a return on investment. It's like, yes, but you have to invest first and try and test stuff. Not everything you're going to do on WeChat is going to work, right? I'm a culprit of that. I'm doing content all the time, and sometimes I post a video, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if I just stop tomorrow, then the business doesn't grow. So, Sam is absolutely right. The brands need to understand that it is a long-term goal. You can't crack China 3 months, 6 months, even a year. I would say you need to have a solid 4 or 5 year plan, like you would with any business model. You wouldn't have a 3-month business model in the West. You would have something that is really long-term strategy.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Thank you for your recommend WeChat. And okay, so here's the 4 questions. It's very interesting. So if you have to describe each other, which characteristic person that feels least like a typical British entrepreneur, but turns out to be a real advantage in the Weixin ecosystem?
That's a good question because we've only recently met each other, isn't it?
You're also,
From
entrepreneurs.
From my side, I'd say politeness. So as soon as I met Sam, he was immediately polite and nice as well. I think it's something I've really had to get to grips with over the last few years is being a ruthless businessman is great in certain situations, but actually if you're just a nice guy and you have that reputation in the industry, then that's an important thing. And also I really like this quote, it's from Alex Hormozy actually, which is having irrefutable proof that you say who you are. So being able to back up what you can do. And that's what I know Sam and his team can do is having that evidence. You meet people all the time that say they do stuff, but if you don't have the case studies, then it's difficult to back anything up and deliver on what you're going to say. And especially if you're an authority on WeChat, you need to be at the top of your game. So that's something immediately that I had with Sam is, he's just a nice guy, right? And you want that in the industry. You don't want, and this industry is small, right? There's a lot of it's only a few players, so it's important being likable but also being able to deliver at the same time.
Thank you.
Ali,
that's a really great. I mean, look, you're a fantastic salesperson. Just the way you're talking. But no, I think straight away when I saw your content and I read more about you, followed your stuff, you just know your stuff, and I think it's so important in this market for someone to not just be able to communicate well, but also understand from both sides, understand it from the Chinese consumer side, understand it from the Western brand side. That bridge, which we talk about a lot, is so important. But I think it's quite rare that someone like Dan based in China, probably because you're based in China, you do understand it, but being able to communicate that message clearly is such a skill. There's a lot of people that know, but they don't know how to communicate the message. And I think particularly from your content that I've seen, and as I've got to know you, you're a really good communicator and really good at bridging the different cultures into sort of one direction. So there's so many nice things I could say about you. It's hard to pick.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I will add one more thing, which is there's a lot of people out there that you don't know what they do, right? They say what they do, right? Whether it be on WeChat or other platforms. But when you actually get down to it, what do you actually do? And where have you positioned yourself in the market? So straight away in my brain, or anyone listening to this or watching this is WeChat mini program, I straight away think of Viva City. I think of these guys, right? So it's kind of positioning yourself in the market that you're not misunderstood what you do in the market, and then it's easier to then speak to companies and show them, okay, this is the whole process. So that's something else that is really quite striking. Is a lot of people, I don't know what they're doing in the market. You know, they're China experts or China marketing people, but what do you actually do? Can you back it up with case studies? And Sam and his team, Viva City, are prime examples of that, being able to showcase exactly what they do and position themselves as, okay, we are the go-to for this kind of technology.
Yeah. Then it was said since the top 5 people know the mini programs
I know,
in
it's
this
crazy.
world.
Yeah. I mean, it's for us, it's been a long journey though. It was in 2017 we built our first mini program, which was pretty much when WeChat launched mini programs. It was the end. I think we were probably one of the first outside of China, one of the first in Europe to have a mini program.
Yes.
So, and I think just like you say, as an entrepreneur and as someone that's been trying to build a business for a long time, like you definitely need to have, they say a niche quite a lot in the UK, you need to carve out a niche. I think the challenge is then scale and how do you continue to develop. And I think that's what happens with a lot of agencies. They have a direction to begin with, but then they need to just branch out and do different things to sort of try and find different routes to scale. But yeah, it's been 10 years that I've been, I mean, you've been sort of along with WeChat a bit longer as a user, but and that 10 years has just gone as a blink of an eye. But you think in that time, like WeChat channels, mini programs, all of these functionalities that have sort of been built into it along the way, and some of the other Western platforms I use, you know, I don't think they've changed at all.
Well, WhatsApp now, but compared to it was got channels, but even that, you can't really interact with it, can you? So it's can I ask a question actually? I've got a question for Sam about obviously that was very early 2017. So how did you identify that? What did you see on WeChat mini programs? That's going to be a thing in the future. What did you see in 2017 that nobody else saw?
So when we started in 2015, my understanding of the Chinese market from a consumer digital was quite limited. So we built an iPhone app, and that just seemed like the thing to do back then, build an app. And we quickly realised it's incredibly difficult to encourage someone visiting the UK for potentially 2 weeks to download an app. So we kind of failed in some regard, like beautiful app, no users. And it was just, when we got to understand like WeChat, Weixin getting an official account, broadcasting messages, and then it was just by chance one day I was talking to someone, they sent me a card inside the conversation. I clicked in it, I was like, this is crazy, this is like an app within an app, it's crazy. And I thought, I wonder if this would be a better way to deliver what we wanted to do, because all of the users were there, it was easy for me to click and engage with, I could forward it to a friend. And it just sort of sparked a bit of curiosity and a vision. And it was then when we deployed the idea and we put these QR codes on menus in restaurants and someone scanned it and we saw the data coming in, like people are scanning and using it. It gave us real encouragement. So, I mean, to answer your questions, it was sort of a bit of luck, but also just persistence and curiosity. And it was well timed as well, because I think if I would have discovered that a year later, I might not have had to be the city, really.
Yeah. So since you've been the restaurant, people can use the QR code to order, to pay. So from where you stand today, do you believe that using WeChat to serve Chinese users overseas can become a long-term and sustainable business?
100% WeChat and Weixin could be used overseas for sustainability. I think most brands, when they think about the digital landscape, like WeChat is really the one to transact through. You know, when we build mini programs, so the idea is that it's going to help someone carry out an action. So for a lot of our customers, they want to receive bookings or inquiries or take payments. I can't think of another platform like that enables that pathway. So I think really though, it's just about, as Dan mentioned, education. How can we educate more Western brands to adopt the WeChat ecosystem? Like one of our big projects over the last 18 months is getting brands to use WeCom, so that they can have a more official message system with their customers. And I think we just have to accept it's a slow burn. Like, you have to take time with the education. But when a brand sees the other side of the story, they've worked with us for a few years, worked with people like Dan for a few years, and they see success, that big ecosystem comes together. And it's so nice when then you hear a customer say, oh yeah, I've got a mini program and we use WeCom, and they're like telling the story for you. It's like, finally the education's worked. Yeah. How about yourself?
It has to be, because we were having this conversation earlier, Sam and I, is when you go to any tourist spot, right, in the UK, let's take UK as an example, where are the visitors from, right? Generally, they're from China, they're in the gift shop, and it's scaling, right? There's more Chinese students than ever before going to the UK. UK is number one now for education. I'm using the UK as an example. This could happen anywhere in the US and Europe, Australia. So it's definitely scalable. And the interesting thing about WeChat is it's growing as a platform as well. Integrating AI now, that's an even bigger game changer. So seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff happening, and general globalization. You see Chinese just traveling and working abroad. It's a must within your business.
I think just to add one more thing as well, like when you visit another country, there's like parts of you that just love familiarity. Like, not that I've eaten at McDonald's, but when I'm walking around, like sort of landed in the airport, there's like the big McDonald's sign. It's sort of a bit of a comfort blanket. So when you're a Chinese visitor, because when we speak to students, we speak to Chinese tourists that have come to the UK, when they see that WeChat logo, Weixin logo on the door, and they know that, okay, I can pay. Yeah. It's comforting to understand. And I mean, that was one of the big things we learned from the mini program. I remember going to a restaurant in London, and sitting next to me was a Chinese couple, and they scanned the mini program, and we got talking to them, and they were just like so surprised, but also they felt very appreciated that the brand had offered them a service through WeChat. So I don't think we can underplay like WeChat's brand globally, and how that will resonate, not just from the brand side that are trying to serve the Chinese customer, but when you go into that environment overseas and you see that WeChat logo, it's so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes me feel better as well. I'm traveling and I see WeChat, exactly. I can pay with WeChat.
Yeah. It's so familiar.
It does familiarity.
Yeah, feel like home.
And I always think about things with like feeling, do you feel happy? Do you feel scared? And I think that WeChat logo just creates that positive emotion. You just feel comforted when you see it as an overseas visitor.
Because I see WeChat more than just a technology company. I actually see it as a culture.
Wow.
Right? So we were discussing this today. Everyone here is amazing, right? Everybody is really welcoming. Everybody is loyal as well. A lot of you guys have been here for many years. You're not here for a month or two and then you're off, right? Once you're in the WeChat ecosystem, a bit like the users, you're in it for kind of life. So it's connecting. WeChat is not just a technology that's connecting people, it's actually connecting culture, right, around the world. Yes. And China's globalization, but how welcoming it is to foreigners. I think that's something that doesn't get pushed out there, is actually how accessible it is for anyone to just pick it up and use. So I see it more than just a technology company. It's actually a way of life. An ecosystem would be the correct word. It's what you open up every day, many times, especially if you're living or doing business with China.
Thank you. Very appreciated you say that. So here's the last questions. Can you describe Weixin, WeChat in 3 words?
It's a culture.
Yeah, please. You got number 1.
I mean, I know we use this expression a lot, super app. I know that's 2 words, but when people say, how do you describe WeChat? We call it a super app because it does so much, and it's so important to sort of get that message across to users outside of China or potential sort of brands. It's an ecosystem, it's a solution that can help you do lots of things. So I just like the framing super app. I was trying to think of something a bit more creative, but for me it's that. It's a super app.
We've got a phrase which would be way of life. It's a way of, get the A, but way of life. So how many times have I opened up WeChat today? I've lost count already, right? And if I hadn't had it, this event wouldn't happen, right? China would fail overnight, right? If you didn't have WeChat as well. I think that's the other thing, right? It's embedded into the psyche, right? Into the minds of people. So, yeah, ecosystem, solution, and culture. Those three words we seem to have come up with today.
Okay. Then today, any you want to share with us?
It's worth commenting as well, isn't it, that like as an overseas company, so as someone based in London, you know, over the years and particularly more recently, we've definitely noticed like the support from Weixin and WeChat to help us overcome challenges. Like sometimes we're driving innovation, not necessarily like because it's a mini program, but a new category. You know, when we wanted to work with a university and there's challenges with trying to open up new opportunities, I think it's worth commenting that out of all of the different companies and platforms that over the years we've tried to communicate with, you know, certainly Weixin and WeChat have been very supportive and have focused more energy on the overseas market, and it's so appreciated by us as well to sort of be given that opportunity to help grow that, and we sort of really look forward to hopefully playing a role with the education, you know, like you're doing through your channel's account and online. But I think it's definitely worth making that comment.
Yeah, I would definitely reinforce that out of all the platforms, I'm not going to name names, but WeChat is Tencent, Weixin has always been the most collaborative, communicative, quick when it comes to communication, just generally, which makes our lives easier, right? If we're speaking to a Western company and they're trying to understand the platform and we're showing that, right, this is how quickly things get going, then it makes our job easier. So, yeah, Western companies need to understand that WeChat it wants you there, right? It wants you there, it wants you to build out your business, and it's there to support.